Alright, here we are back into the second half, starting on Volskaya. The first couple things that we see here is just a straight Goats Ditto, but instead, Boston's looking to start off with the Reinhardt rather than the Winston, and Outlaws are choosing to stay with the Winston. So the reason for that is if Boston decides to come out with a lot of DPS, the only counter to that is the Winston goats, because of the mobility from the tanks, or from the Winston is able to just allow them to play a lot more loose around those DPS characters. However, if I was a coach for the Outlaws, I would have known that Boston is 90% of the time not going to come out with these DPS comps, and they should probably just stick with the Rhine. Unless they're more confident in their dive goats versus Rhine goats, in which case it's fine, they can stick with this. But yeah, they should know that Boston, with this current team lineup, is not going to be able to come out with multiple DPS characters.
We have seen teams just go for scouting and then adjust their setups according to what they see, but it's looking like Boston are going to stick to their guns for now, at least.
You see Muma getting all the support in the world up front, even though he's playing more passive.
Yeah, Muma's sitting here just to get all the cleave that he needs.
He's getting emergency packs from his Brigida, which heals him for a burst.
Yeah, and it looks like Boston's going for the rotation around the high ground, knowing that they just need to try to take over this little hallway here by the Mega Health Pack. Because if you can get your supports set up in this general area, it makes it a lot more difficult for Muma to get in there and put pressure on them with because they can also play the objective and at the same time appeal for their supports. Similar like prioritization as this, like putting your supports in server on a Gibraltar. Just having that access to them if they get dived is really important.
Exactly, they're moving in to take that position. And now they're going to start setting up shop, but again, Muma, he's going to have all the support in the world.
All right, so let's take a look at Houston's positioning here, which I think is really well done. Once they notice that Boston is cycling and playing out of this mega room, Kulma goes to stay here, and they already have Dante and Boink up here, which allows Dante just to zoom damage into them from above, so he doesn't have to care about the Rhine Shield. And then they have Raucus and Lynx are posted up here. And what that does is, say, if Note wants to go on the aggression and try to boost onto him, he has Lynxer just to be like, hey, get off of him, and give Raucus a health pack as well as boop away the D.Va. So again, really strong positioning on them from the Outlaws. Makes it really difficult for Fusions to figure out a game plan. As well as Boink doing a really good job of standing right here and standing basically right on this corner and contesting the objective. Because usually you'd think that you want to tank just to soak damage and stand like on the opposite corner here, but because Boink is so fast and loose, he's able just to keep basically bouncing between wall riding right here and up here. And that's going to be impossible for Blase to get up and try and bash him or anything. And if that does, then Movement can easily just drop down and contest as well.
So long as one of the defensive players are on the point, Boston Uprising.
Alright, so Movement goes for an aggressive jump here, and No retaliates with the immediate boop away. Looks like Lynxer kind of gives up on his initial positioning here, dropping off the high ground. So let's see what happens to Kelix here exactly. So we see Kelix is here. Let's see where he goes.
And Boink is there to just contest on the point as well. So long as one of the defensive players are on the point, Boston Uprising can't make any progress.
I'm just going to keep watching exactly what happens to him. Okay, so what Kelix goes for is he sees that Dante is playing really aggressive on the corner. Dante's sitting right here, and Kelix is like, oh, if I can make a beeline and just try to boop him off of the high ground here, that makes it so much easier for his team to just swarm him down and win the point from there. Unfortunately, it looks like he gets slightly misangled here.
Point. Boston Uprising can't make any progress.
Yeah, look at Kellex. He sees it. He goes for it. But or maybe he just wanted to get Dante out of. I really don't know exactly what his goal there was, actually.
Off now, Dante as well. This is going to get and Boink is there to just contest on the
So normally
as well. So long as
I wouldn't want to see Muma go for a jump here rather than.
Boston Uprising
Okay, so it looks like he's really only dropping.
can't make any
He's only jumping because he wants to avoid Blase's shield bash.
Isolate and dive until just now. Muma finds Kellex Lucio.
defensive players are on the point.
Yeah. So his main goal is just to. Looks like Blase already goes for the immediate reaction shield bash, but Muma makes the outplay of jumping directly above it and trying to go straight for Axiom here, and try to isolate the Zarya from the Reinhardt. And Blase tries to react immediately with the shield bash, but ends up messing it up.
Patrician thus far. Cool man to the side, just poking away.
Okay, so it looks like Rockus hits really good orbs right there on the Kellex, allowing them to get the easy dive.
Dive until just now. Muma finds Kellex Lucio on the side, able to call that to his team. They dive him. He's down and
Yeah, now it's
You can see Muma already. He knows that eventually
Yeah, now the Outlaws recognize that they're able just to. They basically just squeeze Boston into there, and they can play as slow as they want, try to waste as much time as possible.
but Muma's already closing the door on
And Fusions makes the call that he needs to protect. He needs to protect Kellex from getting spawn camped, and he does that by immediately pushing onto the point.
into it. Fight could come into
Looks like Boink gets a really good isolation boop.
the line. God gonna go for the trance as the grab gets thrown in on him. Muma clears
Wow, they're double support ulting. That might have just been a miscommunication from Aim God and Kellex,
down there. So much
but they were able to get Rockus.
from that Brigida there. And
Okay, let's see exactly what happens that ends up in Linkser's death.
Kellex, the ult, there it looks like finally they're gonna just go ahead and move on back. But Muma's already closing
Looks like once again Linkser gives up on his aggressive positioning on the high ground
and move on back in.
to try and assist Fusions in.
This is Kellex.
Wow, Linkser just gets chunked. I'm not sure from where exactly.
Like finally they're gonna just go ahead and move on back in.
Was it Fusions to just get a fat swing? 1, 2. Yeah.
Gonna go for this.
So unfortunately, because Linkser just chose the absolute worst time to drop,
Delaying things
because as soon as he drops,
be fast.
as soon as he drops off a high ground here, he just walks into the Reinhardt that because Boink booped him,
Go ahead and move on back into it.
which
Fight could come in.
yeah, I don't know if this was a miscommunication or anything, but unfortunately, because of Boink's isolation from the boop, he puts Linkser in a really, really terrible position that ends up in his death, and Muma wasn't even prepared for that.
Muma cleaving everybody, but he's not gonna find a kill just yet. Trance as the grab gets thrown in.
So let's see exactly what else happens here. They get Note out of mech. We already noticed he was super duper low.
big kill. Take Linkser's
Does Kellex go up for the solo dive on Rockus here?
Aim God gonna go for the trance as the grab gets thrown in on him. Muma cleaving everybody, but he's not gonna find a kill just yet.
Yeah, Kellex goes for the really aggressive dive straight onto him. He makes a beeline right up. He goes from here to here and snakes right on the Rockus. And Rockus just doesn't react fast enough with the trance, or doesn't think it's necessary to win, or he'd rather give up the point than use his trance here. Which might be a misplay, because looking at the rest of the ults from either team, he knows that Boston just used both of theirs, so they're not going to be retaliate exactly. So you trans here. Maybe it's just a lack of reaction, but usually you trans here just because you have this primal, and Linkser is going to be coming back in fairly soon, like 15 seconds or so. So he should be like, okay, we can win this fight. Boink's going to get his sound barrier at some point during this fight as well. So if I can keep my team up, then we'll be able to outlast the other ultimates that from Boston. But instead, they choose to just kind of play it a little bit slower. They lose Raucus. Muma dies after that, and they just call a reset. But Dante already is just chunking him for so much damage while he's sitting on the high ground there.
Patience being shown from Boston. They could have fallen apart, overextended after Kelix goes down. They could have gone for a reset. Instead, they just take their time and slowly whittle down the defense. Houston Outlaws now going to be the ones. Well, we'll see in just a moment here. You can see they're respawning way back over here. This is where the second point is located. And so Boston Uprising now going to make their way over here into the factory. Big thing to keep an eye on here, the check marks for Houston Outlaws.
So let's see exactly what happens here.
Two key support ultimates that we keep talking about, those are about to come online. So Houston now are going to be really tough to take down.
On assault maps especially, the offense has to overwhelmingly...
Okay, well there's a lot of colors on the screen right now, so let's just run that back.
Check marks for Houston Outlaws. Raucus and Boink.
So it looks like initially that they're gonna try and Axiom goes for high ground here and wants to make a little jump across the platform. Fortunately, he gets booped off, and then he gets to just get focused down. Yeah, that's just unlucky. He makes the jump and doesn't realize that Linkser is sitting up there waiting for him. And Coolmat just comes in with the follow-up, and from there they can just squeeze him. So what Axiom's goal there should have been is he had to have Note move up as well. I mean, look at this. He goes in, and he just immediately gets just pincered. Blase doesn't have a health pack for him because he just used it on fusions. Oh, he just used it on Note. Yeah. He literally just gave it to Note, and that's just unlucky as he just gets chunked. Yeah, and there they go.
Houston, I like this from them. Finding the kill, they're not using any of their ultimates. They're still trying to gain that advantage. In the meantime, Boston Uprising right now, it's only Blase and Kelix who are kind of a little bit behind. Axiom, he's about to get that grab online.
Alright, so going into this next fight, Outlaws literally have basically 6 ultimates, and if they're able to track properly, they should realize that they're probably going to go up against the Grav Bomb Shatter of the other team, and they're going to be close to their trends. Basically, the Outlaws here are going to try and make the fight as quick as possible and just keep their ult advantage if they can, because the longer fights are going to favor Boston just because they'll be able to get all of their ultimates up. So they're going to try and use their ultimates and end it quickly. Muma goes for the Primal immediately. Fusions gets booped during his Shatter. Raucus is the reaction trends to keep Muma alive. Unfortunately, he does die to that bomb. Just because Muma's, his Primal just ended and he was just in a bad spot. So let's see what they could do from here. Kelix comes out with that really quick sound barrier, and they're able to demake Coolmat. Well, okay, let's read back. If maybe they were able to keep Muma alive. Oh, that's unlucky. It looks like they get Dante gets a. I wonder what Coolmat's thinking was putting his. So I'm assuming what. Okay, I'm assuming what the plan was, that Coolmat was going to get demacked by the bomb and pop his own bomb, and allow Dante to follow up with the grab and put him in a bad position. Unfortunately, because of the bubble, Coolmat doesn't die from the bomb. And they just weren't able to focus him down fast enough, which is just unfortunate timing. So Coolmat has to put his bomb in a really bad position. And Coolmat just dies. Yeah, he decides to hold on to his mech. Now they just completely see the point. This was really well played from Boston, knowing that if they solo grab Muma there, that Outlaws weren't be able to do anything about it, especially after the mist bubble. Alright. So they were able to do a lot of damage to Fusion Shield through that bomb, and now they're able to kind of retake from there. So their initial ult advantage at the beginning of the fight was able to help them win even after the terrible turn of events that happened right at the beginning.
Boston is going to be it. Time to retreat.
It's going to be it, but the high point, pretty decent. One good fight for Boston.
Boston is going to be it.
So
Might be in use to bring this one.
let's go back and watch this one more time.
Don't finding success on the self-destruct, trying to find it out. Primal is it. Muma's there.
So I'm assuming what Coolmat's plan was.
Position, the shatter doesn't connect with
Yeah, that was a really good play from Axiom.
There's the grab getting chucked into the
And I think Coolmat just got stuck in a really bad spot, and that's unfortunately what led to Dante.
getting chucked into the fight. Axiom trying to connect with anybody, thrown out there by fusions. There's the grab getting chucked into the fight. Axiom trying to find it.
Alright, so I think, I'm not exactly sure what the plan was. I think Dante probably should have waited a couple seconds on that
There's the grab getting chucked
on that projected barrier to keep Muma alive. But I think Dante wasn't exactly expecting Coolmat to be there, and Coolmat was his main goal was to eat the grav and or peel for Muma without, and he didn't know the grav was there.
is online for Linkser. Still, they're making real progress.
Unfortunately, they double ult here, like right after the trans. Boink decides to pop his ultimate, not realizing necessarily what the point, like what the team was working with. But let's look at this recontest, which was really well done also. Alright, so immediately Muma just swings onto the point. Coolmat opens it up with his bomb, gets some space. Fusions has to block. Muma misspaces his charge on the Fusions and ends up charging Axiom instead. But because they were able to break Fusion's shield so easily, they were able just to run him over after that. And Axiom just didn't have a bubble ready. Now they just win just purely off of taking those tanks out, which is just, and Boston had a really good disengage there. They were able to speed out with 4 of their members. Now once again, looking at the ults here, it's basically even. It's just that Boston's going to be coming in with bomb, graph bomb, and the trans, but everything else is pretty much even as far as ults go.
We get 33%. We get 66%. That progress is permanent once you get it. So you're piecemealing this final capture together.
Exactly, you can see 2 of the blue bars.
Okay, Fusions is just going to try and pressure point here. He doesn't really care about links around high ground apparently.
So let's see, are they going to be able to get the job done here? We've got Grav coming online here for Axiom. He knows where the Diva is. He knows that the Diva is totally out of
So I think Fusions knew that if they got really aggressive with the bomb.
thrown into it. Self-destruct.
Unfortunately, this.
All thrown in.
Wait, does Coolmat take out.
Counter grab
Are they both in mini Diva form?
as well. All right to the point. He knows. See, are they going to be able to get the job done here? We've got Grav coming.
How does Note get on that far left side?
He knows where the Diva is. He knows that the Diva is totally out of position on
Yeah, so Note walks all the way over here before he throws his bomb into the graviton.
the other side of the
And Coolmat immediately just pounces on him, which was just really good. Yeah, Coolmat just pounces on him immediately.
wholesale here from both
And that was a good follow-up shatter from Muma. And now they should just be able to clean that up. Hopefully they get Kelix, get this Zarya. Nice.
Committed some of their very valuable resources into that lost fight. Now Houston on the chase down. No one gets out alive as Raucus will take down his opposing number on the other side of things. He's in a good spot. So only a moment ago it took we had
Now, once again, they're kind of at an ultimate imbalance. Dante already has 50% of another grav, which is insane. Axiom's sitting at 40.
about 2 more attempts.
And now, once again, they're tied on the support ultimates, although Blase will have his rally up pretty soon. So now it's going to be coming down to whether Coolmat decides to save his bomb or use it for space here. But Dante's probably communicating that he's going to be able to get a graph really quickly. And if Fusion's get a massive value out of this shatter, but it doesn't look like it because Outlaws decided to play split between low and high ground here. Yeah, look at this. We have basically it's going to be extremely difficult for Fusions to get any value out of his ultimate because Muma's sitting down here, and they were able to get Linkser, Boink, and Dante and stay on the high ground, and Coolmat's just kind of whipping around wherever he pleases. Not exactly sure where Raucus is. I think, yeah, that's him right here as well. this is just really solid positioning. Once they noticed that Boston was wrapping around the platform, they were like, okay, we can just play split between low and high ground, and they're going to be able to abuse that versus Fusions here. And already Fusions is at half on his shield, even lower now. So Fusions has to face tank damage here. Now they break shield. And now they engage immediately. Alright, wait. So Fusions is calling, like, we have to go now. And they immediately push directly on Muma. Let's see what happens. Boink gets shattered. But Dante's on the has the reaction. Wow, he just gets 20% of a grab in 3 seconds. Look at this. And grab. I'd like to see exactly what HP. Wow, look at this. Boston goes so ham to get Muma and they finish him off. But they're able to get Note before he remix. Rockets comes in. They're probably going to tracing Chelix. Oh, but Axiom just retaliates with the grab, and that's going to be it. Fusion's got another shatter. This grab just gave him so much, and is bam, and doesn't react to the projected barrier, but it's all right. Looks like they're going to be cleaning up this one already. So I think their split positioning came to bite them back in the back, as Muma wasn't able to retreat fast enough because he didn't have the speed boost immediately.
There's the angle. The different angle. Shop here behind through that choke point now, and they're gonna go right onto the point itself. So Boston looking to set up shop here behind.
Yeah, they're pressuring Fusion's shield. Linkser drops. Okay, that was a good stun on Fusions, but they weren't able to follow up with it, or they weren't able to keep Muma alive. Oh, does he just catch a dinks? He just catches so much damage from Aim God. Let's see, how much percent does Aim God get here? Yeah, he's just doing so much damage to Muma. Yeah. So I think they just had to stack support ults there. That was the only way they're going to keep Muma alive through all that damage and enforce their... I mean, it wasn't going to necessarily be a good play, but it's what they needed to do to win the fight. Was to push all of their resources into keeping Muma alive and allowing him to get his shatter, and then follow up with the grav bomb. Yeah, and looks like they should all be able to get this. Dante gets the point, but he's out of blinks. Yeah. Boston was probably looking for more time than that, but they were able to finish it out anyways. So that's good to see. This map, Houston Outlaws versus the Boston Uprising. Second half of this now, they have all the complete. We'll just do it again. Let's go again. Play Volskaya second half. Thing is, don't even try Muma. All right. Let's see what they're coming out with. All right. Same thing. Same comp as the Outlaws on defense, running into the dive goats, just because Ryan Goats is so susceptible to having those heavy DPS compositions. And then, yeah, Outlaws just respond with the same thing, the Ryan Goats, just like Boston did. And instead, Rockets is deciding to go with the the Moira here. I guess Moira is a lot better at healing cleave damage than most other heroes. So they just really think that they want to cut as much value away from the Fusion's Winston as they can. But even then, you still want the Discord, because with the Discord, you're able to bash Fusions and just completely just waste him for trying to jump in. They're going for this high ground hop, and they just immediately just wipe away all the space from Boston. All right, so we're seeing a slightly different positioning from Boston than we did from Outlaws. They're instead having Axiom stay here rather than playing here, which was good. That was just a good movement, knowing that as soon as Outlaws rushed here, that they were going to have to move. So now they're just kind of staring at each other. We're having 3 here, and then having a large stack right there. And let's see if Boston is able to enforce their high ground advantage here with those Zenyatta. All right, now they know that Zarya doesn't have a projected barrier. Oh, Axiom's getting really aggressive here. He's probably going to get punished for that. Yeah. I'm not really sure what the point of that was. Who's low? Cool Matt? Oh, exactly. I wonder why Axiom would do that. I wonder what the call was. He was really thirsty for Cool Matt. I think that's what happened. Fusions was like, please kill Cool Matt, please. Axiom heard the call and tried to take advantage of it. But after losing Axiom like that, it's really hard to stay together in this GOATS composition. I probably would have liked to have seen Blase drop a little bit earlier also. Yeah, now that Boston has forced us to drop to point and feed. Get a clean reset in. I'm going to be interested if Rocket sticks on this Moira here. The Coalescence is decent ultimate ability, but in this situation, it probably doesn't provide much value to the Outlaws, especially in the mirror. Like, it's probably just worth it to swap to the Zenyatta.
Fusions has not had these amazing Earthshatter ultimate abilities, but he's getting it up every minute. 1 minute and 9 seconds, his average ultimate charge.
All right, now they're immediately pushing on the Fusions. Great shatter from Muma. Yeah, and that's a fantastic bomb. Oh, Muma gets another. Oh, but Linkser dies too. How does Linkser die? Is someone chasing him? Cool Matt gets... Who does all this damage to him? Ouch. What the fuck? Alright, he takes something here. Alright, we're gonna do a little bit of sleuthing here. The fight just started. It's very possible he's at like 80. Amgad's transing. Fusions is holding shield. Blase is probably just holding shield also. So it has to just be Note and Axiom are just chunking him down. Oh, they Discord the Brig too. The Linkser got way too aggressive on that grab. That's just unfortunate. And even though Muma hits a fantastic shatter, it ends up not mattering in the end. Let's go back to where we were. Yeah. So that was just on a poor positioning from Linkser. He just walked into that Axiom, taking so much damage immediately. Luckily, this gives Rockets a good opportunity to swap the Zenyatta.
That's what it's all about. And hell, hit a couple of headshots. Might get a kill as well. A feel good moment. Jonak not on the server right now.
Unless you're on the receiving side of those headshots across the map. You're like, oh man, I just left spawn. What are you doing?
Oh, sorry. Alright, Houston Outlaws once again pushing on to the point. Second point now for them. So let's see, are they going to get it done?
Wow. Axiom chucked that in as soon as he saw Coolmat didn't have DM. Yeah, I think Coolmat used all of his DM right there. Because he thought that Axiom would go for it earlier. Yeah, and I think from there... Oh, wait. Somehow Muma lives through that. Dante uses his personal. Wow, the bubble lasted just long enough to keep Muma alive through that. And now at Fusions this gets roasted. That's just unlucky. And they're able just to win off of that. Muma charges? Question mark? Okay, so Muma thought that Brig was going to go back there this way towards Boink, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm going for it. Boom. And he kind of fucks up. But I appreciate the his goal there. And now Note chases him. Oh, wait, Note just hards dive Raucus, and he gets him. Holy crap. That's unlucky. Dante had his projected also. Ow. Wow. That was really well played from Boston. I wonder if this was poor positioning on... Where does... Oh, he gives it to Linkser right here? Oh, he gives it to Boink. He meant to give it to Muma. Muma charges to get out of the way of damage. What is what it looks like to get out of the corner, which was a good option. I'm not... But because... So this was all spurred because Dante messed up his bubble on Boink. And yeah, Muma has to charge out. And when that happens, Note pounces on Raucus. Because Raucus was put himself in a corner here, basically in between this box and the wall. I mean, there's a door here, but it was basically a corner. And that just let Note just pounce on him. I would have liked to seen Raucus instead move over to this area. Just because it's much harder to dive him, and he has better escape routes. Especially where the diva boosters from point aren't going to be able to chase him that far away, so he could even back up behind this box if he wants to, or even go inside and then make the call out that he needs support. But instead, he puts himself in the perfect position for Note to just destroy him, and that's going to be the fight. Dante gets the bomb. Coolmat dies while sending his own bomb in. Muma dies. Yeah. Alright, let's see what happens here. Coolmat, whoa. How much ultra did Axiom get from that right click? When did he send that? Oh, the fire strike. Nice. That was well placed. Well placed from Fusions. Alright, so they're just... Muma just walks away to pick up the... Wow. Let's see, if they're able to live that, that's insane. Yeah, see, Raucus is in the position that would have liked to see him initially. Wow, they were able to survive that. Dante already has another grab, and he just pops it. He has no chill. Trying to focus down Kellex if they can. No, they get him before their trans comes out. Oh, and Linkser with the perfectly timed bash. And that should just be able to give him the cap. Let's see if they can focus down targets here. They go for the Brig. Yeah. No, it walks off. Solid cap from the Outlaws.
It's a game of inches and a game of seconds right there. You saw Kellex in there, his ability to ride up and just exist.
What are they replaying here? The bash? Or does he hit the Kellex? Yeah.
move people around. Might be a different final fight, but a good catch there. A second earlier from Aim God, Kellex probably lives, and we might just still be seeing a fight on Volskaya last right now.
A good catch from our
Seems like Dante really loves to double up on his bubbles.
giving us Linkzer's perspective.
I don't know if that's necessarily a bad habit in this meta. I know Defrand is pretty much the same thing. Muma feeds on Symmetris, SMH.
They're looking good.
Muma's on Genji. As on Winston. Once again, they're going to be coming back on the dive goats. Again, this is also the kind of situation where they might just be thinking like, oh, we can run the Rhine goats here because we know that they're forced to run. They're forced to run this composition. Yeah, Muma getting nasty cleave here. Already 30% in the first 10 seconds of this round. Yeah, Muma gets in there. He gets even more crazy cleave. He somehow escapes that, which was really just amazing that he was able to escape that. I don't think that might have been lack of focus from Boston, able to take him down. And Raucus does his thing. Okay, so here's they messed up their positioning once again because the Linkser ends up on in the middle ground. I don't know when he comes over. I think he might have forgotten that he needed to stay with Raucus, actually. Yeah, look, Raucus is already alone. What we saw originally was Linkser, Raucus here, and then Boink, Dante, and then Coolmat bottom left here, and then Muma just kind of walking around. But unfortunately, Linkser either forgot or Raucus didn't tell him he needed him there, and then they just got... And that just allowed Note just to hard dive him. This isn't Raucus's fault. This just comes down to positioning from Linkser. Yeah, Note gets some damage taken, and he's like, oh wait, Raucus is free. I'm going for him. Yeah, and Boink is forced to try and make it a hard decision. Or he tries to boop him off, but he can't. The only person who can fend off a diva in this position is the Brigitte, or a sniped bubble from Dante. But even then, well, I guess in this position, Dante would probably be able to hit Raucus with a bubble from over here if he was able to get over there in time. What forces Dante off the high ground here? Was it the same?
They're going to have to go for it. The first kill on either side is going to be so important.
Man, Muma nearly got punished there. He dropped so low, but
oh wow, Blase hits it with the whip shot of his lifetime to force Dante off high ground, and then Note goes for the dive. I think that was a well executed play from Boston. I mean, look at this. So I think they might have changed positioning because Dante, if Raucus gets dived, is able to bubble him from that position. But as soon as Blase knocks Dante off of the high ground with that whip shot, Note pounces on them, and that's actually insane. Yeah, and then they're able to kill Raucus, and that's unfortunate. Yeah, and now they're just kind of feeding on the point. I don't think Raucus. Yeah, I think they're just calling a reset immediately. That was just wow. A really well executed team play from Boston there to take the point.
Raucus is alone on the high, eliminates him. He isolated the healing target, able to take him out. Nice play from Note, and now they get an extension on the clock. Not much though. Probably only one chance at last.
Yeah, for one chance, it's going to be one fight. But they do have an edge. They have ultimates online as well. The rally already getting used by Blase, but Aim God and Kellex have both got their ultimates. This is just going to be a big, chaotic ult fiesta. All the teams, all the tools, everything getting thrown into this. Who's going to come out on top?
So what happens to fusions here?
All the ultimates. This is just going to be a big Blase, but Aim God and Kellex have both...
Wow, immediately Muma pops that primal. and pushes Fusions directly into the corner over there. And then they able to get the Discord on him, and the focus just comes in really clean. From there, they should be able to snowball with this. Kellex pops the sound barrier. And they pop the bomb. Note's going to have to follow up with his own bomb here. Moom is probably dead, yeah. But it's definitely a winnable situation. Yeah, Dante has a self-bubble. Oh, let's see what happens. Lynx is on Axiom. Boink's on Axiom. Fusions does something. Wow, because Dante goes so aggressive here that they're able to take the point. Does Dante go there just to hide from the bomb? Oh, he gets moved by Kellex. Holy shit. Whoa. That was if Kellex was like Dante would have died from that bomb if he got any closer to it. Axiom reacts with the solo grab, and they know that they just no more damage on the outside of the Outlaws, and they're able to focus down who they need to. And Fusions gets back perfectly in time. Wow, I really, again, extremely well executed play from the Uprising. It's really impressive, actually. And Dante's on the point, and they double cap. All right, let's see what the Outlaws come up with on an attack here.
Self-destructs from Poco, and there's so many just the mechanical play of like the NYXL and London Divas as well. But Note has just been as consistent can be. It gives you everything you need defensively, has those giant plays, and I've talked about this before. If you give me a Diva that I know exactly what they're going to do all the time, I take it every day of the week. I want consistency out of my Diva play, and no one's been better than Note.
I like this. They're probably not going to give him a target to work with, but it would be.
All right, let's see what they got here. Now, Boston is defaulting here for the Rhine Goats. Again, this is something I would like to see for the Outlaws, but let's see if the Outlaws actually stick to the Ditto. No, the Outlaws instantly notice that they could punish the Rhine Goats option from the defense here. Yeah. So this is only the swap to Rhine Goats is only really something that well, I guess it's twofold. They're really playing for point B here. They're just trying to save. They know that eventually they're going to lose this point to the Outlaws, but their main goal is just to save ults for second point and be able to just take him for as long as possible. And does Rockets die? What a loser. But luckily they should be able to get a Note here, and that's a trade that I'll always take. Oh, what the fuck? How does Boink die? Okay, well, because there's no Brigida, it's very difficult for Raucus to live. I think they'd probably be doing better if Raucus was on his own DPS hero, like a soldier or something, rather than the Zen. And does Boink just get separated from I wish I could see exactly what happens here, but to me it looks like Boink attempts to fly to Raucus here to res, but somehow gets booped, maybe by Blase, and ends up going and just gets knocked onto this side over here, and then he gets focused down from there, which is just unfortunate. I'm assuming that's what happened.
To their strategy here, or are they going to go for the change? They've got time. They still got time to go ahead for another push if they like.
They did reset here, but I think
this is a really, really interesting map. I wonder if Raucus decides to stick on the Zen here. Looks like he does. Coolman only has 25% of his EMP here, which is kind of unlucky. They would like to have a little bit more of that because it's their win condition. But looks like they're going to start putting pressure on the point. Coolman's going to flank through that side doorway. Hack. Oh, does he get the hack on Fusions? He does. Oh, I'll see you later, Axiom. And that's probably going to be it. Nice. Really, that honestly, in this situation, Boston just has so few options. All right, so note once again he sees Rockus in the exact same position, but the difference here is that Outlaws are ready for it. And in that case, what they do is they have Boink and Dante stay here, so they're able to peel for him when he gets in trouble, as well as them putting a lot of pressure on the door if Boston wants to push up. So this was just like way better executed. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Yeah, nice job. And they're gonna stay on this point because they know that they have the win condition in the EMP. Axiom is on the ball, so it looks like they're gonna be trying to exploit Rockus and go for the hard dive. It looks like what their plan here is.
Now we're going to start having those ults online. Could have the combo, could have that EMP barrage. Dante's got the barrage coming up as well.
With only 1 minute and 15 seconds, I think you just wait for Cool Matt to get EMP. You have to wait for it. That's your ace strategy. That's why you're running this composition.
What is Boink Valk here? Well, I guess that's why. Again, wow, look, see, they're hard diving Rockus, and they get him, but Dante's in there with the quick reaction punish, and they get the res.
They are finding the kills. The question is it enough? 2 tanks, 2 supports still alive for Boston. They're going to be tough to kill quickly.
And now they get the mine set up on the point. Let's see if they can focus fire from here. Linkser's on the Tracer. Dante's on the Pharah. Ooh, uh-oh. Rockus dies once again. Uh-oh, that's not good. You don't want to see that. Linkser's stuck on the Tracer. How do they win this fight? There's no way, right? That's unfortunate. I think Outlaws were just locked in such a strange, awkward position after this comp swap that I think their best opportunity was just to play just the swap to Sombra Goats. Especially after they see the triple tank dive. They're gonna be, as long as they can keep Rockus alive, they'll be able to win this fight. But even with the res, they need to be doing a better job of that, apparently. Let's see exactly what happens here. Rockus gets his trans up, but then, oh, the triple tank dive comes in. Yeah, that just came down to the Boston having the frame of mind to know, like, Rocket's positioning is often fairly poor and is without appeal. So if they run triple tank dive and just focus on taking him out, Outlaws are going to just crumble. Yeah, and that's going to be it for this map. And I'll catch you in the next one then. Thanks.